If you're watching this, there's a good chance you think you might have been sabotaging your eating disorder recovery. So let's today look at 5 reasons why we might have been doing that. This was actually the most voted for video this week on my community tab, and for good reason. So if you do want your say on my next video, please do like and subscribe and head over to the community tab where my new poll will be up. Honestly, your voice and opinion truly matters to me and completely influences the content that I make. So here are 5 ways I consistently see clients self-sabotaging in my practice. Some are conscious, some are subconscious, but all are as impactful as each other. I'd love to know what you resonate with. Number 1, feeling unworthy of recovery. This is an all too frequent feeling I see in my practice, and if we consider that the 3 most common traumas for eating disorders developing are emotional neglect, emotional abuse and bullying, it's no real surprise why. These traumas don't allow us to build self-resilience, self-esteem, and can rip away any confidence we might have had. This means that we can truly think we are all the terrible things people have overtly or inadvertently said that we are. Ugly, fat, unworthy of love, affection or attention. These traumas can truly make us believe that we actually deserve to struggle and that we should hate ourselves and our bodies in the process. Number 2, not acknowledging our trauma. I know, I said it, but my love, if you have an eating disorder, there's a very good chance you have a lot of unprocessed trauma. For some of us, it can be incredibly difficult to even acknowledge that we have trauma, especially unprocessed trauma. It might be easier to ignore this trauma or simply intellectualize our emotions. And that means you're able to talk about or list your traumas in a very detached way, not really truly feeling the experiences. By not allowing ourselves the support and compassion we absolutely deserve to help us heal from our traumas, we may sabotage our recovery simply by pretending that everything is fine. Remember, eating disorders are just a manifested coping mode to help us deal with unprocessed trauma. And there might be a few things that we're using food to cope with, including number 3, the fear of being seen. Many of my clients with binge eating disorder and bulimia nervosa truly fear being seen. They want to stay emotionally safe on the sidelines and can often use their weight as a way of becoming invisible in the public eye. My clients often discuss that their weight gain makes them almost overlooked in public spaces, or they note that their poor mobility because of their weight gain actually keeps them isolated at home. And this is because often our traumas lead us to an emotional space of fear. Fear of being seen by others as we see ourselves so negatively, so badly. Fear of rejection, fear of disappointing others or failing. This means that we might sabotage our recovery just in an attempt to stay invisible, to stay hidden and isolated from the wider world. And this is just a gentle reminder that if you are embarking on your eating disorder journey, you can head over to my website linked in the bio and use the code for 30% off my eating disorder recovery courses, where you can take your own time and pace to figure out your next steps in your recovery journey. Use the code LET'SRECOVER30 for a huge 30% off. Now, back to the video. Number 4, the fear of losing support. We all experience traumas in our life, but for many of us, this trauma is unsupported and leads to it being unprocessed. And it's this unprocessed trauma that becomes very problematic. For example, you might go through a significant trauma but have a beautiful support network around you who help you process the experiences that you've had, thus allowing you to work through it gently at your own pace and time. But for many of us, we were never granted that safety or permission or even support to work through what happened to us. And it's then that many of us develop very harmful ways of coping just to get through day-to-day life. So when we finally gain support for our eating disorder, well, it might have been the first time we've ever been given that love, support and compassion. The fear of losing this might feel incredibly strong, and it might be a reason you start to sabotage your own recovery journey because you simply don't want to lose the only support you've ever had. That's why in my practice, one of the things I do with my patients and clients is encourage them to develop a wider support network outside of me. Number 5, allowing your inner critic to win. For many of us, we are blamed and shamed for our disordered eating, this compounding the trauma that we're already struggling to cope with. It can really pull you back in your recovery, making you question whether you really deserve the support that you have. Our inner critic is crafted from all of our unprocessed trauma. Our inner critic might be punitive or demanding, but it's certainly in our ear all day, telling us terrible things about ourselves. A significant part of trauma recovery is actually learning how to push back on this inner critic, holding it accountable for its words, and even challenging what it's actually saying. Over time, our inner critic absolutely does diminish in recovery, but this is in large part because of the work we do outside of the therapy room. So whilst we learn many of our recovery tools in the therapy room, it's super important that we take these into our wider life and worlds. So each day we become stronger and more able to push back on our inner critic, because otherwise it can seduce you into sabotage. So if you are perhaps sabotaging your recovery, don't worry, there's no shame in that. I would encourage you to tell your loved ones or any professionals that you are working with, and you can even use this video for reference if it feels helpful. Don't allow yourself to sit in a space of fear. Shake off those shame gremlins, because I promise you really do truly deserve to recover. And if you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe buttons and head over to the community tab so you can vote on my next video. I'll see you soon, baby.